Hey guys, I want to talk about something that is keeping me up at night that almost nobody is talking about. It's about teams and AI and a pattern that's unfolding in the way we talk about AI that is prejudicial, that is anti team. But first, I'm going to tell you about the space shuttle. So, to cut a long story short, NASA forgot how to build space shuttles. Not in like a vague way where they could go and get it out of the library. They actually lost the knowledge. The teams that built the space shuttle disbanded, documentation got scattered, expertise walked out the door. And what's compelling is that expertise didn't live in any individual's head. You could get the blueprints, you could get the documents, you could get the specifications, but you still can't build one today. The real knowledge about how to build a space shuttle existed in between, in the collective knowledge of the team. And that's how all of our greatest achievements have worked. It's not in any one person's head. It lives in the connections between hundreds of teams, in thousands of small decisions. I've worked at big companies and I've seen amazing things get built when teams can work like this. And what matters right now is that we're at risk of missing something equally profound with the way AI is impacting our teams. Everyone's obsessed over AI productivity, prompts, workflows, 10x your output. Look, I've written some of that stuff, and I am a big believer in individual productivity gains for AI. It's measurable, but I think there is a reason why it is difficult to talk about team productivity in AI right now. And I think we're missing something really big. Fundamentally, we are letting AI into existing team structures and just expecting it to work. That's not how it works. I've been watching teams work with AI for a long time now, and I'm seeing a really fascinating divide emerge. The high-performing product teams that I have seen are doing something completely different. They're not just using AI individually. They're fundamentally distributing their cognition from the heads that are on the team now that are human to the AI as well. That means they've developed new team practices. They have specific rituals around AI-generated content. They have common and collective understanding of how AI works and how prompts work on their team and what prompts are working well and not. They understand evals as a team. They understand how the workflows that they did before, in some ways, don't need to be done anymore. They allow AI to pick up coordination load that would have previously required a meeting. They are rethinking from the ground up how their team works with the assumption that instead of the team knowledge, you know how I talked about the space shuttle? Instead of the team knowledge living just between human heads, now AI is in the mix too. And you have to find new ways of working to allow AI to be a part of that distributed cognition. On the other hand, most teams don't work that way right now. Most teams get a ChatGPT subscription. They're happy to generate ideas individually. They often take ideas uncritically. They may inappropriately substitute a ChatGPT chat for product requirements. I've seen that done. The difference isn't in the tools. It's not in whether or not you got ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini. No, it's in how the tools reinforce team culture. Look, we're a very individualized culture on the internet. I get why we get excited about individualized productivity gains with AI. It is a big deal. But teams build amazing things. And I think that we are missing a revolution in how teams function. For the first time in human history, our intelligence isn't just living in human heads anymore. Parts of our thinking are starting to live outside our minds, our decision-making, our problem-solving, our creativity. They're living in the back and forth interactions that we have with AI. That's what I'm calling distributed cognition. And teams need to figure out how to do this collectively. Teams need to figure out how to manage shared context explicitly. A team needs to not just have a prompt Bible or documentation. Teams need to think about context as something they are actively feeding to AI. Key decisions, refined outputs, a wide range of inputs that they deliberately curate. It needs to feel like a part of the natural workflow, and I know that it won't at first. But it's really, really critical to enabling AI to be a successful partner on the team and to actually harvesting not just individual productivity gains, but team level benefits. Because if the individual comes and says, hey, I wrote that product requirements, and they feel happy and they give it to you and it's not good, but they got it done 10 times faster, the team as a whole did not benefit. It was just the individual feeling like they'd done a better job. And I'm seeing that happen too often. I'm seeing teams forget that they need to rethink how they make decisions, because now AI is 10xing or 100xing our optionality. If you can get 10 iterations of a marketing message, you should probably rethink how you do your process, but we're not doing that. And so my sense is the gap between these approaches is getting wider all the time. AI models are continuing to grow. They're continuing to become more powerful. They're supercharging the few teams that know how to use them well. They're offering real benefits to individuals, but by and large, teams are being left behind. And I think teams are a fundamental unit of work. I opened with the story of the space shuttle for a reason. Making things is hard. Humans have figured out that making things together allows us to do more than we could do individually. And we have to figure out how to reformat the team so that AI can be a fully functioning team member. Otherwise, we're going to consistently underestimate the real potential of AI, not because we don't understand the intelligence AI brings to the table, but because we don't understand how to make that intelligence social. The lesson here isn't just like document everything in Markdown. It's about understanding that intelligence operates in the spaces between people. And now we have to think about intelligence operating in the spaces between people and also AI. Ultimately, that's what's going to help teams be more productive. And so my challenge to you is basically, how is your team thinking about AI collectively? Are you just using AI to speed up old patterns? Are you actually engaging with it as a form of collective intelligence? I'm really curious to hear about this. So drop a comment. If you want to read more, I actually wrote up a long Substack on this that talks through like 8 different signals of high performing teams, signals of low performing teams, how you break through. Lots of good stuff in there. And if you don't want to read it, I don't care. That's fine. Yeah. Tell me how you are getting to collective intelligence with your AI usage on your teams. Cheers.